All praises unto the Most High. We're giving thanks unto thee, Father, for thy blessings and thy mercies. We give thanks, Father, for thy continual love and thy continual guidance, Father. We give thanks unto thee, for thou art merciful and kind unto thy people. All praises unto thee, Father. So, Israel, we give thanks. It's another beautiful day. I'm here with another lesson. And, you know, the previous lesson which I did on knowing the plan is, you could say is almost a follow-up, but is the spirit that put that on me to bring that lesson. And funny enough, I was doing a little small research when I got this information here, and I wanted to share it with you, and also read scriptures which is relating to which is basically happening right now. So basically, they're saying now that they have come up with a vaccine, and the company name is Pfizer, right? But it's not ready to be rolled out yet. But if they're looking to do it sometime the ending of this month, right? And as I told you before in the previous video, these are the things that they're going to be coming with, and it's going to be not at first, but as it go along, they're going to be coming with mandatory vaccination, right? So these are the things which we have to discern, as I said before, and be very, 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 very mindful of. Now, in the last day or two or three, they've been coming out saying that the CEO of this company, Pfizer, has now saying that, they had a breakthrough, and, we are now looking to soon be, rolling out this vaccination, and the health organization is backing it, and all kind of madness, right? So just bringing this information to you, and you can do the rest for yourself by adding one and one and see what comes up, right? So I'm going to play the video, then after I'm going to read scriptures, right? So with no further ado, Israel, let's get straight into it, right? All praises unto the Most High.
The vaccine is coming out soon. I won't be talking about it, but I will tell you about the company behind it. The UK government has purchased 30 million doses of COVID mRNA vaccine from a company called Pfizer. The vaccine is due to be delivered in November, with the potential of 100 million doses by the end of the year and 1.3 billion doses next year.
News just out. Pfizer says it could be ready to apply for emergency use authorization for its COVID-19 vaccine candidate by late November.
It won't be mandatory at the beginning, but judging from the large orders, a gradual plan will be implemented to persuade and incentivize people to take the vaccine and put restrictions on people that don't, along with shaming campaigns.
I want to tell them that their decision, they need to understand, will not affect only their lives, which at the end of the day, it is their judgment, but will affect the lives of others. Because if they don't vaccinate, they will become the weak link that will allow this virus to replicate.
Some will say that this is conspiracy theory, so let's just stick to the facts. The government trusted Pfizer to vaccinate the British people, so it's logical to want to inquire into the company's track record in safety and ethics. After all, they must be trustworthy in fighting for humanity, right? Pfizer made itself one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world by purchasing its competitors and through aggressive marketing tactics. What I'm about to tell you is only 20% of their rap sheet, otherwise this video would be hours long, but you can go to our website where you can see the full list. Pfizer received the biggest criminal fine in US history as part of a $2.3 billion settlement with federal prosecutors for mispromoting medicines and for paying kickbacks to compliant doctors. Pfizer pleaded guilty to misbranding the painkiller Bextra by promoting the drug for uses that were not approved by medical regulators. In the 90s, they were involved in defective heart valves that led to the deaths of more than 100 people. The company had deliberately misled regulators about the hazards. The company agreed to pay $10.75 million to settle Justice Department charges. Pfizer also had a class action suit with a $60 million settlement over Resolin, diabetes medication, that resulted in patients dying from acute liver failure, said to be caused by the drug. In the UK, they have been fined nearly £90 million by the UK's competition watchdog for unfair pricing to the NHS after hiking up the cost of an anti-epilepsy drug by 2,500%, charging the taxpayer an extra £48 million than the actual price, which is $2 million per year. Buying competitors and mis-selling drugs weren't the only factors in making them the giant of a company they are. Their special relations with doctors and medical professionals has also helped. In 2004, Pfizer's subsidiary agreed to pay $430 million to resolve criminal charges that it paid physicians to prescribe its epilepsy drug, Neurontin, to patients with ailments for which the medication was not approved. In 2010, a federal jury found that Pfizer committed racketeering fraud in its marketing of the drug. Pfizer disclosed that during a 6-month period the previous year, it had paid $20 million to some 4,500 doctors and other medical professionals for speaking on the company's behalf. 2012, the US Securities and Exchange Commission announced that it had reached a $45 million settlement with Pfizer to resolve charges that its subsidiaries had bribed overseas doctors and other healthcare professionals to increase foreign sales. But some of you might say they are a business and they don't get to make billions a year by not being competitive. They're still trying to help humanity. Pfizer was sued in a US federal court by Nigerian families who accused the company of testing a dangerous new antibiotic called Trovan on children without parents' consent and using their children as human guinea pigs. A panel of medical experts concluded that Pfizer had violated international law, and the company agreed to pay $75 million to settle the lawsuits in Nigerian courts. The US case was settled for an undisclosed amount. Amid widespread criticism of high pricing for poor countries, and in particular AIDS medications, Pfizer offered to donate a 2-year supply of its drug, Diflucan, worth $50 million to the South African government. Yet in 2003, Pfizer backed away from the company's plan to license its AIDS drug for low-cost distribution in poor countries. The list goes on. I don't want to bore you with it. But ask yourself, if it was a car manufacturer, would you buy a car from them?
We plan to honor our history, and we will only bring to the world a vaccine that has been proven safe and efficacious.
If Pfizer is trustworthy enough to be given one of the keys to vaccinate the population with something that was knocked up in a few months, and with such a track record for safety and ethics, I know what I think. Do you?
Israel, I mean, I don't need to say anything more to you. You know what I mean? This is a company which has been surrounded by so much controversy. And not only that, they have been penalized many a time, as you can see, which they didn't even go down into half of their track record. And yet, this is the company that they're pushing to give you a vaccination, which normally a vaccination like this takes 5 to 10 years, 15 years to perfect. And you're doing it in less than a year. Now, if I were you, I know what I would think, right? So let's go straight in the scriptures and see what the Father said, right? All right. So we're going to read from Psalms 35, right? And we're taking it from 14 down to 26, all right? And it reads, I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or my brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. But in mine adversary they rejoiced and gathered themselves together. Yea, The objects gather themselves together against me. That's we as a people. And I know it not. We don't know what they have planned. They did tear me and chase not, right? Okay. With hypocritical mockers, sorry, in feast, they gasheth upon me with their teeth. Father, how long willest thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction. Can I read it again? Rescue my soul from their destruction, my darling from the lion, from the lions. Sorry, because it's more than one of them, you know. I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people. Let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace, but their devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. Can I read it again, Israel? For they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the land. Hold on, let's continue. Yea, they open their mouth wide against me and say, Ha ha, ha ha, our eyes had seen it. This thou hast seen, O Father. Keep not silent, O Elohim, be not far from me. Stir up thyself and awake to judge and to my judgment, even unto my cause, my Elohim, my Father. Judge me, O Elohim, my Father, according to my righteousness, according to thy righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. Let them not say in their hearts, Aha, so would we have it. Let them not say, We have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at my hurt. What? Let them be clothed with shame, dishonor, that magnify themselves against me, that are magnifying themselves against Israel, right? Against the Most High's people. One again, let let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteousness cause. Yea, let them say continually, let the Most High be magnified, with had pleasure in the prosperity of his servants, right? And my soul, sorry, and my tongue shall speak of thy righteousness and of thy praise all day long, right? So actually, Israel, I wrote down, I read down to 28, right? So it shows you here, Israel, that these people are gathered against us to swallow up his people, right? To do mischievous works without your knowing, right? So I have to bring these messages out to you so we can know what's taking place, so we can be very edified in terms of their scamdemic, you know what I mean? Because it's a joke. And do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own search, right? Now, with that said, right, it was a quick lesson. I just wanted to get that right out there and wanted you to see what is coming, right? Because we have, like myself, I have to be the watchman that is on the tower looking out to see when the enemy is trying to creep in, right? So I'm going to read just one more verse out of this one again, just to reiterate the things that they want to do, right? Now, let me read back verse, where is it? Right, let me read back 20, right? For they speak not peace. They speak not, if you think about it, Israel, they speak not peace. They, in their hearts, they have their ulterior motives, right? And it's all about money to him. That's the worst thing about it. Money is the order of the day for these wicked people, right? But they devise deceitful matters, right? They have deceitful matters which they sit down, they plan these things, right? And against them that are quiet in the land. So we are the people that are quiet in the land, doing what we're doing, and they come with these madness, right, to force on us. And here the CEO was telling you earlier in this um, clip here is that they're saying that who don't get it can be a problem because they are the weak link in this system and they can cause it to continuously spread, right? Now, Israel, if you think about it, I'm gonna be honest, right? Even where I'm at, nobody's dying like that, right? Not at that, the way that they're making it seem like people are dying left, right, and center. Yes, people might have cases, but the cases which they're so-called claiming that is COVID, right? Um, People have a 90%, 97% recovery rate. You know what I mean? The people that might have died are people who had underlying um, immune problems already, which, if they get anything too severe, it could cause a reaction of what they already had, and, they might succumb to it. But I mean, I don't know nobody around me that died from COVID. I mean, young person, you know what I mean? It's a joke, right? But I digress. So they have opened their mouth wide against me and said, aha, aha, our eyes had seen it, which their eyes have seen their plan coming into fruition. But the Most High is the one that rules and governs, right? So with that, I say, Israel, have a blessed day. Until I see you again, shalom, shalom, and one love to all my people.